Well, this is the month of love. Are you feeling it?
Yes.
We had Valentine's Day this last week, and I ran into a couple, and I asked them, oh, are you celebrating Valentine's Day? What are you doing? And they said, actually, we really don't. We choose not to celebrate Valentine's Day in any special way because we feel that love is every day. And so we celebrate every single day. And I thought, wow, that's a great attitude to have, don't you think? Why make it just one special day when we can do it every day? Our topic today is called The Choice for Love. And we are going through A Course of Love this month, which is a real thick, deep book. We're not going to be able to master it in 1 month's time, I will tell you that right now. But the philosophy from the beginning of this book, A Course of Love, and what is the fact that we are always at choice. What are we choosing to think? And in that thinking, what then is the resulting feeling that we will have based on our thinking, and then our outpicturing in our lives is what the result is. That's the way life works, right? How many of you have gone through Science of Mind 101? And it's on the little circle, and the 3 bars, the 3 sections, and it all starts with spirit. There's a law in the middle, and the result and the manifestation and the effect is at the bottom, and it's all God. God's energy flows through it all, and that's really what our lives are about. It's all God. And so it comes down to the fact that that's what we are. We are this love, period. Bottom line, end of discussion. Then why sometimes do we experience things in our lives that we would judge less than, something different? We are a choice. We have that choice. I wanted to read to you the thought for the week. I know we've read it in our program right now, but some people, if they pick us up on the internet, they may not have shared it. And I want to just share it because I think that it helps ground us, it helps center us in what we're coming to the table with this morning. So many of us are familiar with the notion that there are truly only 2 choices in life. We can choose love or we can choose fear. Love is what we come from, what we continually are and will always be. Fear is an option we can choose instead of accepting and experiencing love. Love feels good. We experience peace when love resides both in our hearts and in our minds. Fear doesn't feel good. We experience upset and even greater negative emotions when we are living in fear. The experience of fear is the experience of division and separation. Letting go of judgment and evaluation places us in the mode of being receptive to experience the love that is in, through, and all around us, all the time, wherever we are. In truth and reality, love is all there is. God is love, and therefore God is all. It's all God, it's all good, is a truth statement that we can say with our minds, but to truly experience and live it, we must accept and feel it in our hearts. Connect your heart and mind consciously together to feel, allow, and let love flow in and through you. This course of love is talking about connecting the mind and the heart. Knowing that unity, allowing this love that we designate in our heart. It's really not necessarily just there, but we have that tendency in life to say that's where the love is. And allow it to connect to our thinking faculty, to our thoughts. And many of us, it makes sense. Does not it make sense? Wouldn't you want to feel good? Wouldn't you want to be happy? Wouldn't you want to have love all the time in your life? I'm hoping you would. I would trust that would be the natural thing to want. But again that some of us have this tendency to forget that, to forget it. And instead, we go unconscious. You know, one of the other teachers, Marlene Oakes, remember Marlene Oakes? She used to teach that we would get amnesia. We just forget, you know, what's going on. And so we end up choosing unconsciously this default mode of fear, of limitation, of lack, of something less than unconditional, infinite love. And many times, I was talking to somebody yesterday that has missed a couple Sundays, and I'm calling saying, how you doing? Oh, I've got that grunge that's going around, but I'll be back. And that we've heard that story more than once here lately. But the thing, we were having a good conversation because it's all about what we focus on in our thoughts. You know, what are we really allowing our thoughts to drive us, you know, to take us in our thoughts wherever they go. And so it's time and time again in our teaching, we teach that is to become aware of what we're thinking, because that thinking comes out in our verbiage, in our words, and that is what's going to be reflected back in our experience. So we all want to just have this love and light in our hearts and our minds and in our experience, right? Well, let me have a smile here there. So we are very much aware of our self-talk. You know, I mean, you're aware of maybe the words you speak, but you, before you say anything, you're talking to yourself, okay? I work in an office, and I was sitting at my desk, and somebody was over in the other area, and I heard something talking, and then I heard her say, oh, no, I wasn't talking to you, I was just talking to myself. And then so she walked by my desk, and I said, I heard that. She goes, yeah, I know, I was talking to myself. I said, hey, you know what, though? We all do it. And I said, but I really envy those people that have pets in their home. You know, they have the dog, they have the cat, or they whatever, because, you know, I was just talking to the dog. You can get away, quote unquote, with talking to yourself because, oh, I'm talking to the dog, you know, right? And so my friend Lori said, you know, right, that's what you need to do. Get yourself, I don't care, a dog, a cat, a bird, a fish, doesn't matter. So what we recognize is that we literally are talking to ourselves, sometimes silently and sometimes out loud, and we want to hear it consciously. What is it that I am saying? Is what I am saying the truth? Is what I am saying what I want to have happen in my life? And we all know the difference. If we are saying something in our heads or out of our mouths that doesn't feel good, that feels an angst, that feels nervous, that feels worrying, we'll get a clue. That's something you don't want. So stop it. I was given a book for Christmas this last year, and I just finished it last night. Because I don't usually read, well, it's not really a novel. What it is a journal. It's called Walking Home, and it's by Sonia Choquette. Is that how she says it?
Sonia Choquette.
Choquette, okay. And it is about her pilgrimage that she took walking the Camino de Santiago. Anybody know what that is? Oh, yeah, okay. Or it's also known as the Way of St. James. And she took the 500-mile pilgrimage that goes over the Pyrenees and the north of Spain. It took her 36 days, I think it was. It's really cool because this is her journal. This is 33 days. Every little chapter is a day. 34 days, that's what it was. So, and in this book, she did it because, like most pilgrimages, it's an internal reason that you're doing it, to cleanse yourself, to get through something that is perplexing you. And she ended up having 2 deaths in her family and going through a divorce all within 6 weeks. So a lot was happening with her. So she started on this journey. And I wanted to share with you, just bear with me, because it is so amazing how she nails the ego. Now, we all know the ego. The ego is that thing that is a wonderful human element in us that says we're separate, that we're an individual, and it feeds us and with a lot of good things. It also tells us that we are separate and that we are less than, and it gives us critical judgment that is not so fulfilling. And so I'd like to just share with you what Sonia has said. This is right toward the end of her walk. She says, I was also keenly aware of the difference between my ego and my spirit, and how painful and heavy my ego was to carry. It was dead weight and brought nothing good with it, nothing. It only perpetuated stories that isolated me from life and love and everything I wanted or needed. It set up battles and power struggles with others that no one would or could ever win. It wasn't that I was done with my ego. I knew that wasn't possible. My ego was part of who I was. It was the lower part, the confused part, the never satisfied, never secure, never trusting part of me. It was also the vain part, that scared, manipulating, thin-skinned, hypersensitive, easily offended, easily threatened, and entitled part. It was the part of me that said, I am right and they are wrong. It was the part looking for love and not finding it. When it took hold of me, I was no longer connected to my spirit, my true and beautiful self. I became lost. I had no illusions that I was done with my ego. I knew it would, again and again, try to run my life, as I was only human. I knew it would flare up when I was tired or feeling insecure or felt afraid to be seen. Only now I knew how to tame it. There was only one way. I had to love myself fully and unconditionally. I had to have compassion for myself and be sensitive and responsive to my authentic needs. I had to pray daily for guidance and to give myself the time and space to nurture my spirit and enjoy my life. I had to stay present in the moment and not leap into the future or fall back into the past. That was a tall order, but I knew it would bring me peace. I also needed to stop seeing my ego as the enemy and start seeing it as the me who needed more love. I didn't have to fight my ego when it flared up in pain. I needed to soothe and calm my ego, handling it over to the care of my spirit and to the God to quiet down and reassure. It was simple. When I loved me, I was filled with grace. When I didn't, battles and pain began. Isn't that beautiful? It's so true. We had Louise Hayes' work that we did earlier in the year, and that loving yourself. You are love. And in A Course of Love, in chapter 16, it says, it speaks on judgment and forgiveness. Constant judgment is required to maintain the world you see. A forgiven world is a world whose foundation has changed from fear to love. The truth opposes nothing, nor does love. Letting go of what your mind would tell you in favor of what your heart already knows is the purpose of this course. Only forgiveness replaces judgment. You think forgiveness looks upon another in judgment and pardons the wrongs you would enumerate. True forgiveness simply looks past illusion to the truth, where there are no sins to be forgiven, no wrongs to be pardoned. Forgiveness looks on innocence and sees it where judgment would see it not. The first move toward wholeness is but to understand this. Heart and mind are not separate. Dr. Michael Beckwith tells us that all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. That the world that we live in and create for ourselves is based upon our reality. And everything that we see out in the world is based upon what comes from within. And it reminds me a lot of the Ho'oponopono, of looking at something that we think is less than, and we're judging it that way, and we say, I love you, I love it, I love, period. I'm sorry that I see that. Please forgive me. Let it go. Thank you. It is done. We are all that innocent, beautiful, child, loving energy of God. And when we come from that ourselves, we can forgive whatever transgressions that we have perceived. Jesus, the master teacher, told us when he was on the cross, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgiveness is recognizing that they were innocent, they were unaware of what they were doing. Be it me first. We, all of us, look back at our lives and we think, oh my gosh, really, I can't believe that I did that, or I said that, or whatever the case might be, right? We've all learned from our mistakes. Love is infinite. This love energy grows things. And we have to grow in order to be in it. And so we have to constantly let go of the old, shed it, like the lizard, let go of that old skin and move into the new. And sometimes that's not comfortable. Sometimes it's kind of scary because our ego takes over and says, oh, no, I want it just like this. You've always been in this little box, and this is the box you're supposed to be in because you're comfortable there. But love pushes us through those barriers that we create for ourselves to give us more. I have a friend that's telling me, I'm going to walk that Santiago thing. Are you going to do it with me? I didn't tell you all the problems she had with her feet. And my initial response, oh no, I'm not going to do that. But you know what? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not gonna say that that's absolutely not gonna happen. Why not? Maybe it will. This love that we are is infinite. And we just need to remind ourselves that's our truth. And that's everyone's truth. When we look at this love as a unity, as a union, as a whole, then nothing is left out of it, you see? And that's what allows us to be comfortable. Wherever we are, whomever we're with, that if we can see and perceive and accept that love, then we have this unity, this affinity with that person, with that we don't even need to know their name. We can just feel, let the energy of that love come through heart to heart. I believe that it's very important for us to have a consistent habit of spiritual practices. Because the spiritual practices are what's going to remind us to go back to our center. And I'm sure many of you, first thing in the morning, you get up, and my routine is to read the Daily Word, to read the Science of Mind magazine, to do my prayers, and then I go into meditation. And it's a way that I have of grounding myself, of allowing myself to get hooked up, to the IV, and have those fluids of truth, of love, of energy pumped through me, so that when I'm presented with the balance of the day, whatever is before me, I have that, as Michael Beckwith says, that inoculation. I have that fortitude to fall back on, and it's so amazing how when we take the time to honor ourselves, to love ourselves enough, to give ourselves the time to go within and discover what's up for me this day, God? What's up for us this day? I start my prayers with, thank you, Mother, Father, God, for this day, for the love and the joy and the peace and the health and the prosperity that I am in you, of you, as you, through you, for we are one. And it goes on from there, whatever is up for the day, just to ground ourselves in that oneness. And then I end it with the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. O birther, mother, father of the cosmos, focus your light within us, make it useful. Create your reign of unity now. Your one desire then acts with ours. As in one light, so in all forms. Grant what we need each day in bread and insight. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back. From you is born all ruling will, the power and the life to do, the song that beautifies all. From age to age it renews. Truly, power to these statements. May they be the ground from which all my actions grow. Amen. And I have added another one that recently learned, and that is from the Khatam, Khatum, written many, many years ago. O thou, who art the perfection of life, love, harmony, and beauty, life, Lord of heaven and earth, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. Most merciful and compassionate God, give us thy great goodness. Teach us thy loving forgiveness. Raise us above the distinctions and differences that divide us. Send us the peace of thy divine Spirit, and unite us all in thy perfect being. Amen. Unite us all in thy perfect being. Feel and know that this union, this unity, this love is truly all there is. And we can enjoy it. We can be free in it. We can be happy in it. We can share that love as we allow it to be grown within ourselves. We allow it to go out. And so it is.
So it is.